Good morning, grade 3, and a warm welcome to the English class. Well, children, today our learning objective will be punctuation, direct speech, questions, and exclamation. Now, children, before we begin this, I want you to read this page. You may pause the video and you will open to page that's 9 for you. Punctuation, punctuating sentences. Okay, there is some explanation given here in the information box. You could even read at this exercise. Children, all this was done in the month of June. Okay, and many times we have visited this topic, punctuation, question marks, exclamation, full stop. So just take your time and go through this information box. You may pause the video, children. Okay, so what's a question mark, children? When do I use a question mark? In my sentence, in English, when do I use a question mark? At the end of a question. At the end of a question, I use a question mark. See here, children, the explanation is given here. Can you tell me of some sentence? If I tell you what time is it? What time is it? So you will need a question mark. Where are you going? So you will need a question mark. Now, children, if you look at this exercise over here, okay, so mostly, children, this question sentences, just let me move this here. Like I said, what time is it? I'm asking you now, children, what time is it? Okay, so you have your classes at 10. So you'll tell me 10. So this will be a question mark. If I ask you, where are you going? I need another pen, I think. Where are you going? Again, I'll need a question mark. Right? So children, mostly when you have this WH words, what are the WH words? Come on, recall. Where, what, why, when, who, right? These are all WH words. Sometimes even how, not sometimes. If it is how, then also I need a question mark. So I will use a question mark. WH words are where, what, why, when, who, and even how. How old are you? So you will put a question mark. Now children, look at this sentence. Where is it gone? Yes, it's here. Look at this. Do you know where the Vikings came from? There is no WH word here. Would you like to be a Viking? So children, sometimes always see WH words will have a question mark. Even if you use how, it will have a question mark. But sometimes children, we need to read the text, or if you see the tone of the speaker, the tone of the speaker will tell you that this requires a question mark. Okay, the tone will tell you that this requires a question mark. Like if I say just now the example which I gave you, do you know where the Vikings came from? Would you like to be a Viking? Or if I ask you this question, have you finished your homework? Would this require a question mark? Yes. Suppose if I ask you, are you prepared for your class test, your assessments? So that would also require a question mark. There is no WH question at the beginning. If you see, what did I ask you? Are you prepared? So this was your question mark. What about exclamation mark, children? I told you to read this. See, there is exclamation mark also. So, yes, when do I use an exclamation mark? Come on. Children, this, I had given you these notes. You could refer, if you have your book with you, you could refer to your notes. An exclamation mark is used at the end of a sentence that expresses surprise or a strong feeling. It could also be, children, at the end of a command. Okay? So you could have an exclamation mark there. See here the example. The Vikings were fierce fighters. Can you read this? I think I need to raise this. Yes. So this also requires an exclamation mark. What if I tell you, look out, what a surprise. So that would also require an exclamation mark. So exclamatory sentences are what? A sentence that expresses a sudden or strong feeling of the mind is called an exclamatory sentence. What a fantastic play. Hurrah! We won the match. Okay, so sometimes it is the speaker's tone also where you can identify. This is all where you can identify whether it's a question mark or whether it is an exclamatory sentence. Now what I want you to do, children, is you will move to your next page. That's your direct speech. Okay, I want you to read this information box. This is very, very important, children. Please go through this right now. Please go through this. So children, done with the reading? Direct speech? Okay. Now, can I ask you a question? Are you ready? Okay, so what's a direct speech? Or a direct speech? Whatever. Some sentences, children, they show the actual words that someone has said. And these sentences, they need special punctuations, inverted commas. Right? So they are known as speech marks. Now children, where does this go, this speech marks? We need to be careful here. Okay, they go at the beginning and at the end of the spoken words. They go at the beginning or the end of the spoken words. Let's take your sentence. This is the same sentence, children, from the text. Just now what you all read. Okay, that's the same. I've just written it so that you can see it clearly. This is the same sentence. Now, when do I use it? Okay, I use the speech mark. Can you see, children, the speech mark in the first sentence? When do I use it? I use it at the beginning, at the end of the spoken word. Now, children, first identify which is the spoken word over here. Can you see the speech marks? These are your spoken words. Now, here the spoken words has come after and here it has come before. Okay. Now children, very important, look here. We use a comma. This comma, can you see this comma? We use a comma to separate the spoken and non-spoken word. This is your speaker's name, said Eric. Here also you have your speaker's name first. So you need to separate it by a comma. Very, very important. This, children, here most of you forget, or the mistake what you do is you put this and then you're putting your comma. So what it says, this is the wrong way. What you need to do is, first you need to put your comma and then this. That's where you make your mistake. I'm just pointing out some mistakes so that you don't repeat it. Okay, so that's your direct speech. Some sentences show the actual words that someone has said. Now, children, what about punctuations? As I said earlier, if the spoken words are followed by the details of a speaker, let's take another example. Let's take from Bani, the lesson Bani you had. Okay, the stick in the dump. Let's take this example. This is my bicycle. Okay, now here speech marks, as I said, comma here and here. Okay, and said Ben or Bani. So children, look here, if the spoken words are followed, this is your spoken word and this is followed. Okay, that means followed means it comes later, after. Okay, so it is followed by the details of the speaker. Over here it is what? Said Ben. Right? Then you place the comma before the closing inverted commas. You place it over here. And if the words, now look at the same sentence, if I just write this the same way. Ben said. Now you tell me where I should put. This is my bicycle. The same sentence, children, as we had it in the text. So, these words, children, what it indicates? Yes, tell me. Come on. Now, your comma will separate here and this will be your speech marks and the full stop here. Right? So, what about, so children, this is clear, spoken and non-spoken. This is your non-spoken. Okay, and this, inside this, these are your speech marks. That is the actual spoken words. Well, children, what if the spoken words are a question? If the spoken words are a question, what will you do? Let's take this. Is, children, I told you, no, not all question sentence are start with WH words. You see here. Is this your bicycle? Okay. Now, if the spoken words are a question, now these spoken words are a question. So, the question mark is placed where? First, I'll put my question mark here. Then my speech marks here. And now, very, very important is, you are going to place it before the closing inverted comma. This. Be careful, children, when you do this. Okay, so this will be your question mark and this will be your inverted comma. If the spoken words are a question, then a question mark is placed before the closing inverted comma. Your question mark is placed before the inverted comma. And here we have to write asked. What word we will say, children? Asked, because he is asking a question. It is asked Ben. Clear? I hope you're clear, children. Okay. Now, what if it's an exclamation mark? Think. What if the spoken words are an exclamation mark? Let's look at the sentence. Look at that. What will we write? Okay, amazing. Look at that amazing bicycle. Look at that amazing bicycle. and here I will write, there is no place, so can I just write this again? Now I think it should be clear. Look at that amazing bicycle. Okay, exclaimed Ben. Yes. Now, if the spoken words are an exclamation, then what will you do? Place your exclamation mark here. Okay. We just now did, children, what is an exclamation mark? Exclamation sentence. Remember? So, what are you going to do? Your exclamation mark is placed before the inverted comma. So, here also you will have opening and your closing inverted comma. So, that's with your punctuation, your direct speech. The same explanation, children, is here. Okay, I just showed it to you so that you could recall what we have done. And now we will move to this chapter. Whatever I have explained, children, they have put up here in the information box. I will even be giving you notes. I have already given you, but I'll just post it again so that you can read it. Now, children, I want you to read this before solving this. I will not help you, so I think you could do this individually. This is individual work. So just go through this information box first. Whatever I have explained, please recall. Recall what you have to recall. First, you have to recall a question sentence. Then you have to recall your exclamation. Then you have to recall the speaker, spoken words, non-spoken words. When do you use your speech marks? Inverted speech marks, single speech mark, double speech marks. Then you'll have a sentence which is question. You can have a sentence which is an exclamation. So go through this information box and then let's see if you could do the capital A and B. You should get it right. So well, children, did you go through this and did you get the answers? Okay, I've written it down for you here. So let's see. Copy the sentences adding an exclamation mark or question mark in the correct position. The first one. Look at the first one, children. Is that you, Jan? Bill shouted. Is that you, Jan? Can you see my tone? So which punctuation mark, children, do I need to put here? Question mark or exclamation? Yes? Question mark. Now, children, where do I put the question mark? See this inverted comma. So this has to be, right? I've written a little closer, but you be careful. How you will write, children? Like this. Okay, that's the right way of writing. Now look at the next one. I'm so glad you are here, Jan cried. Now children, this situation is the wildfire. So now what will I use? Question mark or exclamation? Yes, exclamation. And where will it come? Before the speech marks. So it will be over here. Right? Now move to your... So children, I think the third and fourth you can do it yourself. Now children, look here. Imagine you are one of the characters in the story about a wildfire on page 102 and you manage to find your friend Shane. Wow. So children, now you are the character and you have found Shane. What would you ask when you first saw him? Now children, here they have told us use a question mark. So what would you ask him, children? Think. What would you ask Shane? Now you have found Shane, so what would you ask him? Yes? My first question to him would be, where have you been? Where have you been? Now children, speech marks, where do I put it? Yes, come on. And this will be a question mark. So where? And now children, see here, this and this. Right? Can you see the question mark and then the speech mark? Okay, the second one is what? What would Shane reply? Use an exclamation mark. Yes. Now what would Shane reply, children? He would simply say, I think he would simply say, I got lost. Right? I got lost. Now, my exclamation marks were one exclamation mark. And speech marks? Got it? Okay. Children, it's fairly easy. You can do it. 3 and 4 also you should be able to do it. So what you're going to do is, children, you're going to read. If you open your index, children, you will see here where it is direct speech, punctuating sentences. It's the first 2 chapters. So open this and read this, and then you start doing this page. So this would be your homework for today. And all the best, children, for your assessment. Okay, it's not a test, it's just an assessment. All the best.